Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope the weather is as good at where you are as it is here. Sunshine, yay. So welcome to the Spirit Guide Show. Let me know if you can see me and if you can hear me, that would be great. And also let me know where you are from, where are you joining us from? So we already have Donna from Utah. We have Tracy from PNW. I'm not sure what that is. Let me know where that is, Tracy. We have Jay Felix from Los Angeles, Melissa from New Jersey. I have relatives in New Jersey. And we have, I think, Keely from Baton Rouge. Oh, I have relatives there as well. Hiro from Japan. Hi, Hiro. Petra from Toronto. Ty from Connecticut, Melissa, yes and yes, awesome. And Wayne from Baltimore and Tracy from the Pacific Northwest. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so happy you guys could make it. So today we will be talking about what the spiritual, psychic, and mediumistic experiences that you've had mean. Again, it's a question that I get asked a lot. Like, people tell me, like, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. What does it mean? So that's what we want to talk about today. Maybe you saw light orbs. That's something that a lot of people have seen. Maybe you had a predictive dream. Maybe you've had a visit from your dead grandmother. Maybe you've had a vision while meditating. Maybe you've seen synchronicities or repeating signs and symbols. Whatever it was, you probably wondered why you saw, heard, or felt things that others don't feel, hear, or see. So you probably wondered, was it a sign? What are you supposed to do about it? And a lot of people also ask themselves, does this mean that I'm a psychic, a medium, a healer, a shaman? And then they get hung up on like the labels. Which of this label am I? And we will talk about that as well. So by the end of the show, you will know how to interpret your spiritual experiences, what your spirit guides are trying to tell you, and if you are supposed to follow your spirit guide's call. So these are the 3 questions that we will answer today. We had some more people join in the meantime. We have Wayne from Baltimore. Oh yeah, Tracy from the Pacific Northwest, and Alyssa from El Paso, Texas. Awesome. And Hiro, thank you for letting me know that the video or sound are okay today. If anything happens, like just reload the page. That usually solves the problem. So then after we answer these 3 questions, we will go to the second part. We will do a Q&A, and you can ask me any kind of questions about this topic or anything else to do with spirit guides. And then in the third part, I will do mini readings, which means that I will connect you with your spirit guides and give you the messages that they have for you. My name is Yamile Yemoonyah. That's how you pronounce it. And I'm a spirit guide medium, Hay House author, and I am the founder of Spirit Guide Society. And you can find me at thespiritguidemedium.com. And just if in case you want to check it out, here's my website. Now let me know, have you ever wondered what any of your spiritual experiences meant? Just type yes and no in the chat. I'm curious how many of you have had spiritual experiences and asked themselves, what does this mean? So say yes or no. No is totally fine as well. While you're at it, share this live episode of the show with anyone you know would be interested in this topic. So there's a share button somewhere around here. I think it's, if you're on laptop, it's up there somewhere. Or there, no, somewhere in the top. Just click on it and invite anyone you think might be interested in this topic. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, come on over. There's a link in the description. Click that link and come on over to my website or to Crowdcast, because only here can I answer your questions, and only here can I give you a reading later on during the show. If you have tech issues, I mentioned that before, reload your page, refresh your page. That usually solves the problem. If I disappear, because I live in the Canary Islands and my connection here is not 100%, if I disappear, just sit tight. I will be back within a minute. All right, so Jay says, when I was about 7, I was in Mexico and I seen an old man dressed in clothing from the 1950s at least. He told me to come with him to the balcony. He had a dog with him. He jumped off the 2nd floor, and when I looked down to the floor, he and his dog were on his feet, and he told me to jump too. I ran down the stairs and looked for him, and he was gone. Yes, that is an intense experience, and you probably asked yourself what that meant. And I'm glad you didn't jump off the balcony, by the way. Yeah, let's go talk about this specific one a little bit later. I just want to get through this first, what I prepared today, and then later we can go into questions. So where are we? Right, so let's just dive in. That's what we're gonna do. So first question that we want to answer is how to interpret your spiritual experiences. So no matter what your experience was like I said, it could be a dream, it could be something like Jay experienced, it could be just like you saw a string of numbers, symbols, just that you saw a bird and you just had this feeling that there's more to this bird than just being a normal bird. There's one important rule when it comes to interpreting the experience. Pay attention to your intuition and then trust it. Do not let your ego get in the way. That's the most important thing when it comes to interpreting your experiences. Listen to your intuition, trust your intuition, do not let your ego get in the way. To help you do this, and don't overanalyze things, because we all do it and it's totally normal and it's easy to say. But to help you do this, trust your intuition and not overanalyze, here's what you do. When you have an experience like that, either you have let's say you have one tomorrow or today, later on, then you sit down right after it happens. You sit down and you write everything down. Or you can dictate it into your phone. That's fully up to you. But do it as soon as it happens, as fast as possible. And then describe what exactly happened. Be very specific. Do not interpret. Just write down what happened. So for example, Jay has this experience. He was 7. He was in Mexico. He saw this old man dressed in clothing from the 1950s. That's description. This is what happened. I saw a man. He was wearing clothes from the 1950s. He went onto the balcony. He had a dog with him. He jumped off the 2nd floor. Do not interpret right away. Just write down what you saw, what you heard, what you felt, what you smelled, what you tasted. Pay attention to all your senses. Bring them back, remember, go into what happened and write it all down. Specifics. And also how you felt while it was happening. Not what you felt after, not what you feel now while you're writing it down or dictating it in your phone. What did you feel while it happened? Did you feel like there was a presence in the room? Did you feel like this wasn't did you feel like a wave of love? Did you feel whatever it was, any kinds of feelings, write them down as well. The video, okay guys. I hope it will come back, but as long as you can hear me, I'll just keep going for a little bit. Usually it comes back, but we'll see. So yeah, write down what you think. Oh, sorry. Yeah, write down what you felt while it was happening, not what you feel after while you're writing it down. And then after you described it in full detail, then you write down what you think it meant. Listen to your intuition. Again, listening to your intuition is the most important thing. How does it relate to what your current life questions, hopes, and situations you are dealing with? How does it relate to those? How does like the experience relate to the bigger questions you're pondering at this point in your life? How does it relate to your hopes and dreams? How does it relate to situations you are dealing with? Write that down. And only then, only after you wrote down what exactly happened, the specifics, what you smelled, what you felt, what you saw, what you heard, and what your intuition tells you, only after that you allow your analytical mind to start asking questions and be doubtful. Okay, Wayne says he can't hear me. Can someone else hear me? Okay. Wayne, maybe reload your page. All right, can everyone else hear me and see me at the moment? Let me know. Type yes, please, so I know. Yes or no. That would be great. Okay, thanks. Hey, Maria. Hi. So where are we? Right, so only then allow your analytical mind to start asking questions and be doubtful. So questions like, was this real? What does it mean? Am I crazy? Like all these things that we have in our heads that come up after these experiences. Why do you want to write these down as well? Because you want to honor your ego. Your ego is the part that asks these questions. Your ego is the part that says it's crazy, like this is impossible, like you are probably over-interpreting something. With all these doubts, you want to honor your ego because we need our ego in everyday life. We can't exist with our ego. And when your ego knows that you honor it for what it does for you, it will behave better. So you write down, you give your ego the space. After you wrote down like the experience, what your intuition tells you, then you give ego the stage and let it like ask the questions, and you write these questions down. And now, after these steps, now and only now, you can take to Google and do research and see what other people have to say. So let's say you had a dream about a certain animal. Do not straight go to like Google and ask like, what does it mean? Or what does, I don't know, seeing a leopard mean, or whatever it is. Do the other steps first. Because if you let other voices into your head right away after having the experience, you get confused. You think, oh, but like this person wrote a blog post about it, so they're an expert. And then there goes your own intuition. So first, what actually happened? What does my intuition say about it? What does my ego say about it? And then go and look up like dream symbolism or whatever you want to look up, or do some research. And of course, like it's best to do this right when it happens or right after it happens, but it's fine to do this like later, like Jay with his experience when he was 7 years old. You can still do it, but just make sure that you leave the ego out and then give it space later. All right, then the second question we were going to answer was what your spirit guides are trying to tell you. The thing is that spiritual and psychic experiences feel different. Like, you know, there is something different, right? It's different from like a normal experience. It feels different. It feels magical. It feels special, or it feels divinely sent. And all these like psychic and spiritual experiences have a message and a meaning. These messages come from your spirit guides, from the beings, from the angels, the ancestors, the nature spirits, the ascended masters, whatever guides you are working with. They are the ones that send you these messages for you to work with. And they are meant as way markers, insights, and comfort for your soul. In short, they show us that we are moving in the right or best direction. It's like a sign, hey, yeah, you're doing great, keep going. So yeah, either they show you like you are moving in the right or best direction, or how to move in that direction. For example, again, like this awesome example that Jay brought us when he was 7 years old. And I'm just like interpreting it from my perspective. That does not mean that this is what it is. I'm just using it as an example. So please know that you are the expert on your psychic experiences. No one else is. Other people can help you, give you insights into things, stimulate like your brain so it can think in different directions, but you are the expert because it's your life. Anyway, so let's use this example. So he saw this man jump from the second balcony, right? From the second story of his house. The interpretation that jumped right out for me was that it was about taking a risk, that it was about doing something in his life that he was contemplating doing, but was a little bit afraid of. It was about taking the jump. Again, this is just my interpretation. It's just an example. So in this case, it would be how to move in the right direction. You have to take a jump, then you will go in the right direction. I hope that makes sense. Guys, can you still hear me and see me? I see that Hero says I'm frozen again. I'm really sorry about this. That's what happens when you live on an island. It will change next year because then I'm moving to the UK. I can't wait. So now let's talk about the third question that we wanted to talk about, which was how to know if you are called by your spirit guides. And I'm waiting for someone to tell me if you guys can still see me and hear me. I hope so. Otherwise, I will have to refresh. Are you guys still there? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, well, that's okay. I hope you don't mind that you can't see me. Okay, as long as you can hear me, it's fine. All right, so on to the third question. How to know if you are called by your spirit guides. So especially if you have regular psychic experiences. And when I say psychic, like you can also say spiritual or mediumistic, like any kind of like in that vein. It is, if you have that regularly, it is a sign that you are called to closely work with your guides as a light worker or as a spirit worker. This means that you, as a light worker, you use your spiritual gifts, and we all have them, either at your work, like your day-to-day job or your business or whatever you're doing, and in day-to-day life to have a positive impact on the world. That's what a light worker is. You use like your connection to the spirit world to help others. It could also mean that you are called to be a spirit worker. I mentioned that before. A spirit worker is someone who works with the spiritual world in a professional way. So I would be a spirit worker, but I can also be a light worker because I also use it in my day-to-day life to help other people. I use this term spirit worker as a catch-all for mediums, shamans, healers, and all these other like medicine men, whatever, like all these terms that are floating around that people call themselves. There is no need to figure out the exact label you'll fall under. It doesn't matter for now if you're a medium or a shaman or a psychic or whatever. Just call yourself a spirit worker for now. That's totally fine. The important thing is to follow the calling as a light worker or a spirit worker. And how do you follow that calling? Well, you do not have to quit your job. You do not have to leave your family. You do not have to become a vegan. You do not have to meditate all day long. You do not have to live in a monastery or move to the Amazon. So then, just to make that clear, all you have to do is to follow the breadcrumbs, the signs, symbols, visions, all that good stuff that comes from your spirit guides. And if you are super interested, for example, in Reiki, then take a class. If people tell you you would make a great healer, take a workshop. Listen to the signs and take action. That's the most important part. Take action. You won't get the next message from your spirit guides if you do not take action on what they told you before. It doesn't have to be huge action steps. Like I said, you don't have to move to the Amazon. You just have to listen to what they're saying and take action. So for example, Jay saw this person, like this older man, jump from the balcony, and let's assume it was a sign for him to take action on something, to like take the jump, to not be afraid, to go for whatever it was that was being presented to him by life. If he doesn't do it, then the message will just repeat. It would basically say, take the jump, do it, go for it. The message will not, like, there is not going to be a next message because he's stuck at that stage. So you have to take that action. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They just sit tight and want more and more and more and more evidence that this is the right direction they're going in. But you have to like take a small step. It doesn't have to be huge. Take a small step. Buy a book on the topic that interests you. Take a workshop. Something like this. So how do you know that you are specifically called to be a spirit worker? If spirituality, psychic development, and all these topics are your hobby, you talk about nothing else, you admire professional mediums, psychics, shamans, etc., you secretly dream of being one, you read tons of books on the subject, you have psychic experiences that have to do with helping others. This one is very important. All of these are signs that you are called to be a spirit worker or a light worker. And then follow it. That's the main thing. Follow it. So again, if you are naturally inclined to be interested in these topics, there's a reason for that. Listen to it. Listen to your spirit guides. Listen to your intuition. Follow the calling. One tiny step at a time. You don't have to know where this journey is going to end. You just have to take one step at a time. So I hope this was useful, and I would love to know what was your biggest takeaway from what you just learned about how to interpret your spiritual experiences. Let me know in the chat. And while you answer that, I want to talk about something like, if you want to learn more things like this, then use your spirit guide's wisdom to create like real change in your own and other people's lives, and not just read about it, not just like dream about it. If you want to like really take action and do this, I'm in the process of building a community for spiritual seekers, light workers, and spirit workers to receive cosmic mentorship from your guides. So real conscious information, or consciously, so that you can consciously communicate with your guides and get like guidance from them. The community is also so that you can develop your spiritual gifts and discover your purpose and live with purpose every day, and to improve your own and other people's lives. So with the community, we'll go on a modern day quest to make this world a more egalitarian, inclusive, and collaborative place, because I think it's very important. Generally, I hope you agree that we should be more inclusive and collaborative. And I want to do this with a group of people who are interested to communicate with their guides, get their input, and then create real change in the world and learn while doing it. So first you'll learn how to connect with your guides. Then we'll have monthly missions, like building your altar, ritual and ceremony, developing your spiritual practice, connecting through dreams, money and spirituality, and other topics. So during these monthly missions, you will learn a new aspect of spirit guide communication to help you connect better with your spirit guide. During these missions, you will also create real change in your own life by listening to your guide and taking action, and also make a difference in other people's lives, again, by listening to your spirit guides and taking action. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, click that green button down there that says follow your spirit guide's call. It will take you to a page, a landing page with a little description, again, about the community, and then you can sign up for the waitlist. There you don't have to pay anything. You're just saying, I'm interested. You can still make up your mind later on. It's really just raising your hand, I'm interested. That's all it is. All right, so what we're gonna do now is Q&A. So if you have questions about all this, and if you have questions about anything to do with spirit guides, find the Ask a Question section. On laptop, it's right down here under the green button, somewhere around there. On your phone, you might have to click on, I think, chat, and then you will see a little question mark. Click on that. All right, in the meantime, I will see if there are questions in the chat yet. All right, so Maria asks, the spirit worker uses these gifts in working with others. Yes, so yes, that's what I would say. So actually, as a light worker, you do the same. The difference is that as a spirit worker, you do it professionally. So you're a professional medium, psychic, shaman, healer, whatnot, Reiki master, whatever other titles there are. If you're a light worker, you don't do it professionally, but you do it like outside of work, or like maybe while you're working, but your work is not focused on communicating with spirit. I hope that makes sense. Kendra says, I learned that you should trust yourself and be mindful of ego leading you instead of intuition. Yes, exactly. That's exactly my message. Like, listen to your intuition. If you have a hard time listening to your intuition, a good way to do it is like you focus on your head, because that's where we are most of the time, around here somewhere. And then you go with your consciousness, you drop it down into your heart space, and you keep it there. And then you ask the question, or then you reflect on the question. And as soon as you realize, oops, I'm back here again, you bring it back down into your heart space. Or you can also try bringing it even further down into your belly. Try these two places. It's different for everyone. But like, just bring it back down here. All right, so let's see if there are other questions. Okay, Eloise, I hope I say that right, says, I am from South Africa, and although we have a lot of traditional healers, they scare me and make me so uncomfortable. Like something is just very off with them. How can I find someone to help me with my weirdest spiritual experiences? Because everyone thinks I'm crazy. Let me think about this for a second. Right. So I know there are the traditional healers in South Africa. And like in most countries, I would assume that some of these traditional healers are fake. and they tell you scary things like you're gonna die in 3 weeks, and the only person that can help you is me. So yeah, that happens everywhere. So if you hear these things about someone, don't go. Then I assume that you are not from these cultures that these traditional healers come from, but I'm not sure. Like, let me know. So that's another reason why this might be scary for you, because it's like very different from like your own culture, even though it both exist in the same country. But I also encourage you to look into it a little bit more, not necessarily like go to one, but maybe educate yourself a little bit about what's behind how they do it, how they heal, how they work, because knowledge is power, and it will take the fear away a little bit. And that's just for your personal development. You don't have to go to them if you don't want to, but I think it's important to understand why we feel uncomfortable with something. And sometimes it's just because it's like different. So maybe do a little bit of research. And I'm absolutely sure that like among these traditional healers, there are also good ones. Just saying that generally. Otherwise, you can, I would say, to find someone, ask your guides to send you someone, and then take action steps in the sense of, for example, practical action steps. Go on Facebook, find spiritual groups, and ask for recommendations. And then ask for recommendations in 5 different groups and see which names keep coming up. And if there's a name that comes up 3 times or 5 times, then go check out their website, read through their website, see if you like them, see if they do something like this, like a live event, go join, see if you vibe with that person. If you do, then go and like book a session with them and ask them to help you with interpreting your spiritual experiences. That's how I would do it. I hope that helps. Then Kendra asks, how do you let go of fear as blockage in order to awaken your gifts? The best way to do it, and it's a similar answer what I said earlier, is to educate yourself. A lot of these fears come from our, especially if you are like in the Western world, a lot of these fears come from Christianity. And even if you didn't grow up Christian, maybe your parents didn't believe in religion at all, because Christianity is so much like baked into the foundation of Western society, it has a huge influence on us. So a lot of these fears come from there. Like anything that's not Jesus or God, it could be bad. It could be like the devil, bad spirits. And even though we don't think actually in these terms, it's still there because we grew up with it. Again, it's baked into the foundations of our society. So that's number one. Educate yourself in the sense of like do some psychic development classes, maybe even take some mediumship classes, because then you see how the process works and that it's not scary at all. And it will teach you to differentiate between like things that are actually scary and just your own fear that's based on irrational fears. So read about like these things. Read about how it works. Because again, if you know how something works, you're not scared of it anymore. I hope that helps. Then Melissa asks, I have dreams and situations that I talk about that actually come true. Yes. So you have precognitive dreams. That's one of the gifts that you can have. Don't be afraid of it. Know that you are not the one who's causing the things to happen. That's very important. A lot of kids who have this are afraid, like they might dream that their grandfather is going to die, and then the grandfather dies and they think they are responsible. And even as adults, like these kinds of experiences can be hard on us because we think we have to do something about it. Especially if it's like a negative event. We think we have to go and warn that person. And that's hard to figure out. Like, when do you actually talk to the people that might be involved in what you're seeing? What do you do about it? And that's a whole different topic. And there are books about it out there as well. So maybe look into that. But yes, that's a great spiritual gift, definitely. All right, next question. And this one comes from Maria. In these countries where shamanism is traditional, perhaps interview, ask them about lineage, etc. When in Peru, indigenous people are presented as shamans because they know it's popular now. They wore their traditional clothes, had bus cards, etc. But my gut level knew better. Yes, definitely always listen to your gut and your intuition, and definitely do your research when it comes to shamans, mediums, psychics, anyone that you, just like you would with your doctor. You don't just go to any doctor. You do some research. If this doctor is like any good, right? Marie says, hi, I used to feel spirit a lot. I've seen my dad who is in spirit. I'd smell smoke. No one smokes in house and windows are closed, and this would always happen when I was stressed. He was a heavy smoker. He's come to me in a dream where the world was coming to an end and my dad was leading me up a step hill to safety, and I was nothing happening. Then I saw fire hitting the hill below. I've had a lot of trauma and I'm not getting stuff now, but I've been told my chakra is blocked. I don't think a chakra can be blocked that way. I think that if we have spiritual gifts, and you do, like you have mediumistic gifts, you at least you saw your, like, what was it, your dad? That means that you have the ability to see spirits of dead people. I don't think that our chakra can be blocked. I think we can block ourselves in the sense that we overthink things, or that we have certain expectations that are not being met. So a lot of people think if you're a medium, you see people, like dead people, just like you would see other people. They're standing in front of you, they're talking to you the same way. They can say things like, I left my will in the bottom drawer of the cabinet there in the living room. But that's usually not how it works. That's not how it works for 99% of all mediums. Mostly mediums see, if they see at all, not all mediums see. If they see it with their mind's eye, just like you remember a dream or you remember something that happened yesterday in that same way. And so it's about expectations. And if we have like expectations that are unrealistic, that's how we block ourselves. Or we block ourselves through fear, because we're afraid, again, like this whole, could be influenced by Christianity or other things that make us fearful. So these are the things that can block you. And I don't even want to call it block us, because it's not actually blocking us. The experiences are still happening. We just like push them aside because we think they're not worth anything, because they don't happen the way we expect them to happen. I hope that makes sense. And yes, smelling smoke when it's not there. So your dad was a heavy smoker. That's called clair scent. So clear smell. It's one of the 6 clairs that you can have. All right, no more questions here, but there was a lot going on in the chat. Let me check there. And Louise says, yeah, we have like 11 official cultures, so it's a bit diverse here, but it's a very, very angry country still. So they might even be just as uncomfortable with me, to be honest. Oh yeah, I totally understand, of course. Like when cultures come together, it can be weird because we don't understand each other. So yeah, but like I said, like education helps a lot to understand others better. Doesn't mean that you have to go to them, but just to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling. And I can't remember right now, but I did read 2 or 3 books about European ancestor people that learned from Sangomas in South Africa. So maybe look into that and read some of these books. They're fascinating. And then we have Ty says, I've had dreams where of certain situations that came true, all good. For example, I learned something in class I liked sitting in a certain row behind a certain person and was amazed how familiar it was. I've also nightmares where some things that I liked came to attack me, but they never came back once I got rid of the items connected to them. Got rid of the items in your dream or outside of your dream? I also used to see praying mantis when I used to work at my old job, which I never used to see anywhere else before, even when I was a kid. Okay, that last part, was that then like what, when you were working in a job, did you see these praying mantis like in your dream or like while you were at your job? Just curiosity, just to understand it better. And you're asking, what do these things mean? But what do you think they mean? That's number one. What do you think it means? And go back to like that situation, that life situation that you were in when this was happening. How could this be an answer to what you were like struggling with, or decisions you had to make, or life situations that were happening to you? How did that relate to what was happening in your life at the time? And then what does your intuition tell you? Ask yourself first before you ask someone else. That's very, very important. Don't worry about the typos. Yeah, sorry, Hero. I know the video is still freezing. I'm not sure what to do. Maybe I'll reload the page in a sec. Okay, I don't think there are any more questions. So we're going to go to the next part, the third part of the show, and we're going to do readings. But first, I'm going to reload my page and see if that helps. So I'll be back in, I hope, 30 seconds. Stay put. All right, is that better? I am back. Let me know if you can see me now, or if you can hear me, before we go on to our last part. All right, in the meantime, because there's always a little lag, so I always have to wait a little bit. Yay, I'm back. Awesome. Thanks, Kendra, for letting me know. All right, so thanks, Donna. Thanks, Hero. Awesome. So what we're going to do now is mini readings. So I will invite people on screen, and then I will connect you with your guide, tell you what they look like. If they have a name, I will tell you the name, and I will tell you what their message is for you. So these readings are a few minutes. I'll do a few over the next 20 minutes or so. And there are a few things that you need to know first. First, I have my own definition of spirit guides, which is that any kind of being from the higher realms that is connected to you in unconditional love, wants to help you on your spiritual path or in day-to-day life, is a spirit guide. That includes 7, oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze. That includes 7 types of spirit guides: angels, ancestors, nature beings, star beings, otherwise known as aliens, ascended masters, deities, and power animals, or I actually prefer to call them animal spirits. We all have like a team of guides. So the one who has the most important message will be the one that steps forward. So that might be a different one from the one that you already know. And then you will get the messages that you need to hear, not what you want to hear or expect to hear. Again, expectations. So how does this work? I'm going to ask you to find like the little link where it says people. It's in the same menu as where it says ask a question, polls. Oh, sorry, you don't have that one. Ask a question and people and maybe chat. So click on that link that says people. And there you should be able to raise your hand. So this works. It's the first time we're trying this. Raise your hand. There's a little button that says raise your hand. Can you guys find it? If someone finds it and it's in a different place than where I described it, just maybe type in the chat how you found it. That would be awesome. So on my laptop, I have to click on people. And then I have a list of everyone who's here. And there you can raise your hand. Do you see that? It's like, Melissa, do you mean you can't see me or you can't see where to raise your hand? All right. If you guys can't find it, okay, then we'll do something else. Then go back to the ask a question. Don't go. Go back to the ask a question section where you asked, your questions, and type in newbie. That's how we used to do it. So go to the ask a question section. It's like under the green button or on your phone. It's like, I think you have to click on chat and then you will see it. There's a little button with a question mark. Just like you asked the questions just now. Go there and type newbie. Nothing else, no questions, no nothing, just newbie, so I can quickly find you and give you a reading. I hope this wasn't too confusing. I was trying something new. All right, I see that people are typing. All right, so let's go with Wayne. I'll invite you on screen. You'll get a little invite that pops up for you, and you have to say, yes, I accept, and then you will appear here on screen with me. And I'll invite a few people at the same time so we can do this quickly. I'm going to invite Kendra as well and Melissa. All right, let's see who's here. I see Wayne. Hi, Wayne.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So I'm going to close my eyes because that makes it easier for me to focus. And then I'll tell you whatever I see. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I can see right away there is a star being for you, otherwise known as aliens, but they're not scary. The ones that I work with, or you work with, because it's your spirit guide. He shows himself in a very classical Hollywood fashion, like a gray with the 3 fingers, the bigger head, the almond-shaped eyes,
okay,
gray skin. And he has the message for you that a lot of star beings have for the people they work with, especially if they talk to them for the first time. He's saying that in your life, you have always stood out in some way. You were always felt different from others on the inside, but you probably never knew why. You always felt like you didn't completely belong. This could be your family or Earth itself. And he says you always had this longing for home. Like, I want to go home, without actually knowing what you mean by that. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So he says that's because you work with and have had past lives on other planets.
Aha. Okay.
So Earth is not completely home for you. You've not always incarnated here on Earth. You've incarnated on different places, and not just one different place, but all kinds of different places. So this whole concept of home is something you want to rethink for yourself. And that might take a while because, well, we're used to a concept of home, like there's one place where you're from and that's it. But you have different places that you've lived. So yeah, it's a little bit different. Does
he have a name?
Let me first listen to what he has to say. I'll ask him in a sec. He also says, you're good with feeling energies, not just like from people, but like generally energies. You can feel when someone's around. He says you've had experiences that you felt like someone was there with you or someone was watching you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. He says that was him. Sometimes it was someone else, but nothing to worry about, he says. And that's he is telling you this to show you how you work with energies. You can feel when someone is in the room with you, for example. So he wants you to like realize this and work on developing your skills working with energies. He says you have healing abilities like most people do that are good with energies. So he wants you to like look up ways to work with energy. And he's telling me to give you one quick real example. It's like when you go like this with your hands and you rub them together for like a minute or two until they get really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you like go apart like this and like play with it a little bit and see how far, like feel the energy that's like between your hands and feel like how far apart you can put your hands before you stop feeling it. Just go back and forth a little bit. Do that once a day. It will help you develop these skills. Yeah, and he says that's really the message that he wants you to know. You're not like necessarily from Earth. You're good with energies. Develop your skills. Oh yeah, name. He says this is the thing with spirit guides generally. He says he doesn't necessarily have a name that works for us, but he wants you to call him Morris. I don't know why. Morris with 2 R.
Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's laughing. He thinks it's a funny name, so use it.
Okay.
All right. I hope this helps you. And yeah, take your action steps. Do something with the message. And I'll hope to see you next week. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And now we have Melissa. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Let me see who's here for you. All right. So there are actually 2 beings, but I can just only do one for now. And first I saw an angel, female angel, but then there was a animal spirit that wanted to talk to you. And it's a cat. She's mostly white. It's a female, but she also has like some brown and some black spots, but mostly white. I can't see the eyes clearly, so I can't tell you. But she kind of like, because first I saw the angel standing behind you, and then she kind of like waltzed in and like walked on your shoulders from one side to the other. And it was a little bit like, I want to talk. So let's go with her. All right, she says you felt lonely lately. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
She says she's here to keep you company and to remind you that you're not alone. You are never alone. Yeah, and she says she's here to remind you that you are not alone, that you are loved, that you are special. She says your self-esteem has gone down over the years. Would you understand that as well?
Yeah.
She says it's time to like shake all that off. She says that, yes, you've gone like through hard times, but it's also very much about like how we perceive life, how we think, how like the individual thoughts that we think manifest our lives. And she wants you to start thinking differently. She wants you to start thinking nicely about yourself. So every time you catch yourself thinking about yourself, oh, that was stupid, or oh, I'm ugly, or I don't like this about me, or I don't like that, or why did I do this? Every time you catch yourself doing that, don't judge yourself. We all do it. But what she wants you to do is like stop and counteract that thought with a positive thought about yourself. So let's say you say something like, oh, that was stupid. Why did I do it? Immediately stop and think about something that you like about yourself. Think about something that why you are proud about yourself, things that you have accomplished for yourself, and think about that as least as long as you thought the negative thought to neutralize it.
Okay.
She says that will make a huge difference when you start doing these things. And she says, stop isolating yourself. Go and find new people. Make new friends. Go find people that are interested in the same things that you are. People that avoid the people that are like superficial and mean and all these kinds of people that we don't want around. Just focus on like your values, your interests, and find people that share them. And she also says like grow some claws because she just showed me like. So she says like when you feel like someone is like overstepping your boundaries, and that's another like thing, like you let people overstep your boundaries a little bit. She says like when you feel that someone's overstepping your boundaries, set the boundaries, make it clear, and if you have to, and she says again, you're not alone. I'm always with you. Let's see if she has a name. Lizzie with a double like Z and a Y at the end.
What was it?
Lizzie.
Oh,
Lizzie. L-I-Z-Z-Y. Yeah, that's it from her. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I hope this helps you. Don't forget, you're not alone.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Bye. Let's do 2 more. I'm going to go to the Ask a Question section again. I hope you guys all found it now. We're going to go with Mel. I'm going to invite you on screen, and we're going to go with Ty. And let's see if someone shows up. Always takes a little bit. In the meantime, I'll read the chat and see what's going on. Mel, there's 2 Melissas. I got it. And already invited people. If you didn't get like a chance this time, then just come back next time and try again. there is no guarantees, obviously. I can't do readings for everyone. I would be sitting here for hours. But yeah. And also, of course, like you can book a one-on-one session with me while we're waiting for someone to come online. I'm going to invite Marie as well. And Mel. All right, I'll invite you as well. So while I wait for you to appear, so if you want to book a one-on-one session with me, 60 minutes, you can also click that same button that I talked about earlier, the green button that says follow your spirit guide's call. Sign up for that community waitlist, and you'll automatically also get a coupon code so you can book a session for 25% off. So this is only for newcomers. But yeah, go sign up for the waitlist and you'll automatically get 25% off your first reading. And again, if you want to be notified when Spirit Guide Society opens its doors again, also click that green button, sign up, and I will let you know. And then together with our spirit guides, we'll make this world a little bit of a better place for everyone. All right, so we have someone here. Let's see who it is. Marie is here. Awesome. Hi, Marie. How are you?
Hi.
All right, let's see what I can get for you. Marie, you have a nature spirit with you. It's definitely like a gnome-like being. And I think it's actually two, a couple. It's a male and a female. They're here together. And first I saw her, then I saw him, and it kept switching. I was like, what is it? Are you male or female? Now I get it. It's a couple. They work together. And they're telling me that they see you like you're their child, which is interesting.
Right.
I've never heard that before. So let's see what they are. Like the way they show themselves is like small, like about this height. They wear traditional gnome clothes, so they look a little bit like garden gnomes, complete with a little hat. And they're talking about healing. They're saying that you're going through a healing phase. So that means either that you're interested in healing as a profession, or that you are like yourself healing from some kind of like trauma or loss.
Yes, yes, self-healing.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, they want to help you with that healing. And they're also saying there's a reason. Let's say it like this, like you're going through this healing process, and there's also a good part to it because you yourself have healing abilities, and by like going through this healing process, there is a chance for you to bring out these like healing gifts that are like waiting for you to be discovered. So they want you to basically go through this healing journey and really pay attention to what works for you, what helps you heal, what doesn't help you heal, and make note of these things. Because they say like you are, these are like tools that you can put in your medicine bag, like symbolically.
Right.
So like write it down, like which books helped you, what I don't know, like what herbs they're talking about plants and herbs as well, to try working with those for healing. So write down like the experiments that you do, what works for you, how do these herbs affect your body or your dreams or whatever it is. And really make it a little bit of a study. Doesn't mean that you have to like write a dissertation about it or anything. Just for yourself, like in a journal, write some of these things down, because it will help you on your way to develop your healing skills.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you, did you already know that you had healing abilities?
I've kind of started to figure that I have recently.
Okay, awesome. Then this is a confirmation for you. Like this is like either a second or even a third sign for you that there's something to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My dog's been poorly, and I just put hands on him, and
yes, awesome, great, yes.
and
So
he was fine. I know it sounds stupid, but no, I don't know why I did it. I just felt like I needed to do it on him, and I did, and
yes,
it helped him.
Exactly. Keep doing that. Keep like taking action steps in that direction and see where it takes you, and have fun doing it.
I will.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye. All right. And our last reading for today is Mel. Hi, Mel.
Hi.
How are you? Where are you from?
I'm based in London, UK.
Okay. I might be moving there next year, or to Brighton. We're not quite sure yet, but one of the two.
Oh,
Yes.
very nice.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right, so let's see. All right, you have an angel with you. It's a male angel. He shows himself in a way. Do you know, have you ever heard of Kyle Gray?
No.
He has like angel card decks that he created. One of them is called, good question, I'm not sure, but it's like a blue box. So if you search for Kyle Gray, angel cards, and he has three different ones. One is called Angels and Ancestors. That's not the one. The other one is called Keepers of the Light. That's not the one. The third one is the one you want, and it's a blue box. So that one, your angel is showing himself as if he was from that card deck.
Okay.
So just to get a better feeling for it, maybe Google it and see what they look like. So anyway, he's wearing like blue and black, and it's an armor, and it's in blue and black, and his wings are dark blue with black tips, and his hair is also like a dark blue, almost like midnight blue. He says his name is Corey. So Corey. Sorry. Let's see what he has to say. Right. He says you're a protector spirit. So you are someone who naturally, you're courageous. You are naturally inclined to protect others, like people that can't protect themselves, or animals, or little children. You automatically feel drawn to do that when there is a situation where this has to happen. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So let me see. He also says that there might be like some, I don't know if this is in the past or still happening, but he says there might be, because you have this like protector spirit, and in our culture, this is like something that is supposed to be more like a male energy, that you sometimes in your life might have felt that you are not like feminine enough, or not woman enough. Would you understand that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so he says he wants you to heal that in yourself. He says, and that these are his words, that's bullshit. And he wants you to understand that all of us, and you know that theoretically, that all of us have like a male part and a female part, and that we express them differently. So he says, just because in history, like this protector role was, or in the last 2,000 years, was mostly done by man, doesn't mean that that's like the natural way of things.
Okay.
He says you just need to follow your own soul and your own soul light and not worry about these things. He says, do some research into famous female warriors and take them as an example of like, as an inspiration for you. Because he says that is what you are really, a warrior, guardian, protector, spirit. And it's very important that you accept that for yourself and know that you can still be like as feminine as you want to be. There is no clash between these things. And he also says that it's important that you like recognize who you are and that you accept it because it's needed.
Okay.
And he says, especially now or in the near future, it is needed that you are prepared to fully step into that role.
Okay.
And this does not mean that like something terrible is going to happen, just
No.
to make sure. That's not what it means.
Yeah.
But there is, in some capacity, you are going to be called to like guard, protect in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be just like simple as that you find a lost kitten somewhere and you have to pick it up and take care of it. Something like this.
Okay.
Or it could be something bigger, but like something is coming that that will need your attention in some way. Yeah, and I think that's it.
Okay.
All right. I hope that helps you and supports you on your path forward. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't get a reading, come back next time, try again. And yeah, if you're interested in Spirit Guide Society, I would love to have you. I really want this like to be an awesome community where we can all learn to communicate with our spirit guides in the way that's best for us. I don't necessarily, like, I'm not an expert in that sense. I'm not a guru. I just have my own experiences. I might have more experiences than you had. And I'm happy to share these experiences, but I want us all to come together and everyone share their experiences and everyone help each other out. And all of us work together and collaborate to communicate with our guides the best way we can and actually use the knowledge that we get from our guides to help others and make this world a better place. So I would love it if you joined me for that. All right, thanks everyone and have a nice day. Thank you for coming.